My roommate made $60,000 in 6 months, and I watched it happen from the couch we shared in our cramped apartment. Not through hard work or talent, but by exploiting a system most people didn't even know existed. It started innocently enough. He'd stumbled onto these restaurant supply auctions by accident, scrolling through some obscure forum at 2 in the morning. These liquidation sales happen when restaurants close, when suppliers need to move inventory fast, when bankruptcy forces everything out the door. The thing is, most chefs and restaurant owners don't monitor these auctions. They're too busy running their kitchens, managing staff, trying to survive in an industry with razor-thin margins. But my roommate, he had nothing but time. He'd wake up before dawn, coffee in hand, laptop balanced on his knees, and hit refresh on auction sites until new listings appeared. The moment something valuable popped up, aged balsamic vinegar from Modena, imported olive oils from small Italian groves, Himalayan pink salt in bulk, he'd bid immediately. Not the highest bid necessarily, just fast enough that real buyers never got a chance. Then came the markup. He'd resell these ingredients to the very restaurants that needed them, charging double what they would have paid at the auction. And here's the thing that twisted something in my gut every time I thought about it. They had no choice. When you're a chef and your menu depends on specific ingredients, when customers expect that signature dish, you pay whatever it costs. I remember the first time I saw our apartment transform. Cases of truffle oil stacked against the wall where we used to have a bookshelf. Cardboard boxes filled with saffron threads worth more than my car payment took over the dining table we never used anymore. The whole place smelled like aged vinegar and imported spices, this cloying sweetness that clung to everything I owned. The restaurant started to hate him. You could feel it in the terse emails he'd laugh about, in the voicemails he'd play on speaker just to mock the desperation in their voices. One afternoon, a chef confronted him in a parking lot after an auction. I was there, sitting in the passenger seat, watching this guy in kitchen whites practically shaking as he told my roommate he was destroying small businesses, making it impossible for independent restaurants to compete. My roommate rolled down the window and smiled. "That's how capitalism works, buddy. Maybe run your business better." I should have said something. I knew that even then, watching the chef walk away with his shoulders slumped, but I didn't. I just sat there, complicit in my silence, telling myself it wasn't my problem. Every week, same routine. 3 auctions by noon, then hours spent in front of his laptop crafting emails with inflated prices, building spreadsheets that tracked his profit margins down to the penny. He'd talk about it constantly, about the thrill of the win, about beating out actual professionals who'd been in the industry for decades. There was something hollow in his excitement, something that felt more like proving a point than genuine success. Then came the phone call that changed everything. A Michelin-starred restaurant downtown was closing, not because they failed, but because the chef was retiring, moving back to France. They were auctioning their entire inventory in one massive lot. My roommate's hands actually trembled as he showed me the listing. Aged prosciutto from Parma, Japanese A5 Wagyu fat, vinegars that cost hundreds per bottle, some aged for 20 years. This was it, his big score. He emptied his savings account that morning. $15,000, every penny he'd made from 6 months of flipping, gone in a single bid the moment the auction opened. I watched his face as he clicked confirm payment, and for just a second, I saw something that looked like fear underneath the bravado. The boxes arrived 3 days later. So many boxes, the delivery driver made 4 trips. My roommate was practically vibrating with excitement, already calculating his profit margins, already drafting emails to his highest paying contacts. I came home from work that evening to find him sitting on the floor, not counting inventory, not celebrating, just sitting there among opened cardboard boxes, completely still, staring at nothing. The apartment was silent in a way that made my skin crawl. No music, no laptop fan whirring, no sounds of packing tape being pulled, just silence and the faint smell of something off. When I asked what was wrong, he didn't look at me. He just pointed at the items spread around him with one shaking hand. Every bottle of aged balsamic, every vacuum-sealed package of prosciutto, every jar of artisanal preserve, expired, some by weeks, some by months. The dates were right there on the labels, plain as day if you bothered to look. The auction listing had mentioned it, buried in the fine print at the very bottom, in 8-point font right below the bolded "No refunds, no returns" policy. Item conditions: sold as is. Expiration dates may vary. Buyer assumes all responsibility. $15,000 of worthless inventory surrounded him like evidence at a crime scene.